you eat a lot of that, I mean, this is not the sort of thing where you eat a meal and you get sick. You know, this is sort of a chronic buildup issue, so that if you eat it regularly, often, for many years, you will probably increase your chances for getting various kinds of chronic diseases, some neurological issues or cancer or something. But it's not the sort of thing with the one-off, you know, you're going to die because you ate a fish out of Newark Bay or something like that. Some people, and they should not do this, flush, what they don't use, flush down the toilet. Don't do that. But even if you are disposing of it properly or just leaving it in the pill, you know, in your medicine cabinet forever, when you take, you don't metabolize everything. You're taking some kind of pharmaceutical. It's a chemical that's going to have an effect on you at low doses, and you're not going to metabolize it all. So when you pee, some of that is coming out, and it's going into the sewage treatment plant. The sewage treatment plant is not capable of dealing with it, and it's out in the water system. And some of the kinds of things they find are hormones like birth control pills, behavioral, you know, neurological things, mood enhancers, antidepressants, those kinds of things. And the fact that these are chemicals that are very effective at low doses means they're in low doses in the water. Fish hormones and fish nervous systems are very much like ours. And you find problems with fish in waters with these pharmaceuticals. So you find, for example, male fish that are making eggs as well as sperm. Now, male fish are not supposed to make eggs, right? You find female fishes that are abnormal, depending on what kind of hormones you had. So you find fish that are sluggish and not behaving normally because there's Prozac in the water. I remember a paper that came out some years ago on this study, and they entitled the paper "Fish on Prozac." That's a cute title. But so that it's affecting behavior, the mood and psychological kinds of drugs are causing behavior changes. The hormonal drugs are causing reproductive issues and changes in the hormones in the fish, and change, you know, so things like that. And not just fish, but other animals as well. Male fish, that you look at a slice through the testes, and you see the normal structures that make sperm, and then in the middle of that, there's an egg here, and an egg there, and an egg there. No, it classifies as a abnormality. It's not a mutation, but it's a hormone problem. PBDE is polybrominated diphenyl ethers, which are chemicals that are not all that different from PCBs and DDT. PCBs and DDT are chlorinated, organic chemicals with chlorine in various parts. This is with bromine, polybrominated. Bromine and chlorine are chemically similar to each other. So it would have been nice if people way back, when it was realized that chlorinated chemicals tend to be nasty, thought that maybe brominated chemicals might be nasty, or fluoridated chemicals. Fluorine is in that same. But nobody thought that way. The PBDEs are not pesticides. They're used as flame retardants. And they're put in clothing and put in upholstered furniture. And there was a big movement to do this when there were house fires and the mattress would catch on fire, or the kids' pajamas would catch on fire, things like that. So the idea is to put a flame retardant in the clothing rather than making a cigarette that would extinguish itself. Tobacco companies were behind this move. This is the backstory of PBD, that the tobacco companies were behind, let's put this flame retardant into the upholstered furniture and the clothing, because they didn't want to change the cigarette. That was what set the fire in the first place. Anyway, that's an interesting thing that just came to light much later. But anyway, these chemicals come into the air, go into the water, and they're sort of all over. And now there's some move to do away with them. But they're there, and the kinds of things they do are very reminiscent of some of the things that the pesticides and PCBs did. And they also, the PBDEs also affect the endocrine system, affect the thyroid gland. And the thyroid gland here is involved in development and maturation and the nervous system function. It's involved in metabolism. It's very involved in many things in the body, and something to worry about.